Just clean up. It was good that guys didn't have to play a whole lot of minutes, so we were able to get some stuff done today. Just make sure execution was clean and that we're all on the same page.
With this part of the schedule, obviously there's not a ton of practice days. So how do you have to take advantage of that opportunity?
We just have to be focused on areas of improvement and, making sure that, again, we have a high-level understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. What happens when you don't get a lot of practice days is there's just slippage in habits. So it's important that we have, we take advantage of the days and the opportunities where we can just rep some things out just to build those habits back.
And then last year we talked a lot about Darius's critical leadership, but even this year more so, how do you see that grow and in what ways does that change from last year?
I think he understands the ability to set the tone. There's been games where, to start, we've needed to be more aggressive. We needed to be more assertive, and he's led us in that way. He has a better understanding and more empathy for his teammates and for the game as a whole, to where he can do whatever it is necessary for him to do to start games to be effective, but to also get everybody else on the same level that he's at.
I know you've talked about always staying in the moment, but you also plan things ahead as a coach, I assume.
Just wing it all the time.
Just wing it. When you saw the schedule, was there any part of you that looked at January and said, boy, this one's going to be tough? Like, there has to be some kind of level of expectation attached to that?
Yeah, we go through, obviously, at the beginning of the year, you look at the schedule, but then there's certain things that we have to do month by month, right? We have to schedule flights, we have to schedule practices, so you have to look at the month as a whole and kind of plan for it. And when you look at, the amount of games, the amount of travel, you understand, like, it's going to be a bear. And January is a tough month, but every NBA team has them. It's not like this is, the league is picking on the Cavaliers. Like, there's different moments for different teams, and we all play the same 82. So, there are no excuses. No one's giving us any, pity parties. We've got to go out and get the job done. And, that's why the things that we do in training camp to put us in adverse situations shouldn't be a surprise when we have to face a little bit of adversity during the season.
When it comes to that, what kinds of tricks have you learned as a coach over the years to try and get through the dog days of the NBA, through the All-Star break?
I think it's important. And again, it's one of those things where you have to be consistent in your approach. And guys know that something's going on if you change. So we try to enjoy it as much as we possibly can. We try to keep our environment light. We try to keep it positive. We are together more than we're with our families, throughout the NBA season. So understanding that, there's going to be some bumps, there's going to be some frustrations and irritations, but how do you minimize those things? And you minimize them by creating an environment where people want to come to work every single day. And that's what we try to do.
Is there anything you have to change about when you play Miami and the defense they play with the zone and obviously the way they use Bam?
Obviously there's a lot of switching that Bam is capable of. He can guard multiple positions. There's zone. Not a lot of teams play zone for as many possessions as they will. So just understanding, what they're trying to get you to do and don't take the bait. A lot of times, the zones just try to stagnate you and keep you out of the paint. But, most NBA zones, aren't great if you just move them around a little bit. But because teams don't play against them a lot, they do get stagnant, they do settle. And we just have to make sure that we're aggressive and we don't settle.
Speaking about the environment, one of the things Darius said after the game yesterday is how much this kind of feels like an AAU team in terms of how close the guys are. You've obviously been around the NBA for a long time. How rare or common is that in organizations?
I think it's different now, and it is unique for especially, and I say this, a younger team to kind of have that feel. Most young guys in the NBA are trying to figure out who they are, and so they prioritize themselves over the team. And that's why a lot of young teams struggle to have any type of success. Our guys have bought in continually to each other and to the team, mindset that the team is more important than the individual. You look at most teams that have had a lot of success, they're guys on their second or third deals. right? We're extremely fortunate that we have young guys, still under their rookie contracts, who care more about winning than on individual accolades. So, we're fortunate, and we don't take that for granted.
Do you expect Dylan before the All-Star break?
That is a question for Steve Spiro.
Well, he doesn't talk to us. So.
How'd Donovan come out of last night?
He came out well. He, did a little bit of extra last night because he wanted to get, some more stuff. He went through everything in practice today, so he's good.
Not that there's extreme scoreboard watching at this point of the season, but are you, like the coaches, the players, take notice of how much parity there is around the league right now? Like, you guys are like one of like 5 teams, 6 teams with 30 wins, but everybody else is hovering around that 500 mark, whether they're 3 games above, 3 games below. It's like really unique this year.
Yeah, I mean, we watch a lot of basketball, so you kind of know what's going on around the league. It's not something that we say, that we're trying to keep an eye on. But, you watch NBA games, you listen to the broadcast, you kind of understand what's going on with a bunch of teams. So that's about it. We try not to focus on, everybody else. Like, our concern is worrying about where we are and how we can continue to improve.
Is there anything you could point to that? Like to why there's so much competition this year and why everyone seems to be like kind of near the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of really good players in the NBA right now. And if you go, from top to bottom, you don't see that disparity in levels of talent on teams. What you do see typically is just different levels of experience. But I think, the day of the super team is over with. I think there's a lot of extremely talented basketball players and a lot of extremely talented coaches that put people in the right position, and there's going to be a little bit more balance in the league.
Just the last question about it. Did Kevin practice today?
He was here, yes, he practiced.
Hey, JB, real quick, I know you consider yourself a well-rounded sports fan. In the context of what LeBron is about to do, to you, what's the most impressive record in sports? Is there one that stands out to you? I mean, people talk about DiMaggio, people
right.
talk about others. That
I would say, and we were talking about this the other day, like this record, because of how long it's been held, was it 84, I think, when Kareem said it? Like, all the guys that have come through this league since then, the talent, the greatness, what he had to accomplish to hold that record for so long. To me, for LeBron to be getting ready to pass that, has got to be one of the top, of all time. Obviously, there's the consecutive games and those things, but I think this is one of them for sure.